What's up? What's up? What's up, Facebook fam? This is your girl Gail Crowder with Wife Chat Tuesdays. I am so excited about tonight's topic. I have I am grateful that you women have been sending me your topics that you wanted me to cover. I got inundated with a couple last week, which I was really excited about. Most of you guys have been Facebooking me and inboxing me about what you want to chat about. And so this one came to me from a young lady. Hi, Lisa. How are you, beautiful? It came to me. And so I wanted to do that. And not only did she come up with this topic, but another lady kind of came up with this topic as well. Please share, Lisa, that Wife Chat Tuesday is going on with all your friends and tell them to tell their friends so we can get this party started. And so I was battling between this topic and another topic when it came to fellatio. So I decided that I'm going to tackle this one this week, and then I'm going to tackle the fellatio one next week. And so you guys get ready for that. And so, like I said, two women hit me up at two different times just talking about the negativity that's going on in their marriage and how do you really handle that situation. And so I want to really kind of chat about that today, to really give you some tools and some strategies. And they're very simple, but I find them useful when, I was in a negative space, being the one that was negative, and then vice versa when Gil was in a negative space, to try to mitigate that. Because, when you leave work, and you've had a negative day, it's easy to walk away from that. But when you are having a constant negative thing going on in your household, it makes it very difficult. And I understand that. So I want to tackle some of those things. Thank you, Lisa, for saying that you would go share that that Wife Chat is on. And so when you're looking and dealing with negativity going on in your marriage, there is a lot of reasons, and I won't be able to cover them all, why your marriage has become so negative. It could be things that unresolved things that have happened in the past. It could be a lack of communication. It could be communication that is not effective. It could be I can just name 1,000 different things. It could be stress that is brought from your job or with the children or those kind of things. If you're not seeing eye to eye, it could be, they're not attracted to you with your appearance. It could be so many different things. And the young lady that, the two young ladies that hit me up about negativity, one was about her career path, and the other one was about her weight gain. And again, they just sent me this particular topic, so I kind of want to just talk in general about that. And so let's tackle the financial part. We all know that when it comes to finances, in a marriage, that could be stressful in itself. And so when you have chosen to leave your job and pursue, doing your own business, my question, for this young lady was, did you have a discussion with your husband, and did you come up with a game plan? Because men tend to really want to support us in whatever we do, for the most part. But we have to have a game plan, because they're very game plan oriented. They want to see, okay, you're leaving your job making X, Y, and Z. How are you going to get to making X, Y, and Z again? Or do you already have the clientele to support this? Or what is your 1-year plan? All those kind of things. They want to see those things. So my question to that young lady that sent me this about the negativity is, did you have a discussion first, or did you just quit your job and go out there? And do you have a game plan to replace the income that's obviously needed in your household? So that's the first one I would say. The other one about weight gain, again, there's many reasons why we gain weight as women. You know, it could be depression, it could be, you know, birth of a child, it could be medications, it could be so many different things. So again, I would have to know a little bit more about that particular situation, but let me just talk in general. When you're dealing with weight gain, it's a cause of something. Most people don't just sit up and just eat because that's, you know, something. Even people who have became very overweight due to eating, it's a root cause. The weight gain is a surface thing. The root cause could be depression, it could be loneliness, it could be trying to fill a void, it could be so many different things that is causing you know, you to overeat. Now, if it's a medication thing, like for me, I was on steroids after my car accident up until 2 months ago, and I took myself off of them. But again, I had to start trying to modify my diet because the pounds was packing on. But then I had to weigh, do I want to have inflammation in my body and the pain, or do I want to look a certain way in my clothes, right? And so you have to balance those things. But also, you know, Gil and I had a conversation, and he understood what was going on with me. So I would say you need to look into the root cause of why your you're gaining so much weight. It could be hormone imbalance. It could be so many different things when you're dealing with women and weight gain, but you have to find out what their root cause is, right? And you need to have a conversation with your husband about how his negativity around your weight is making you feel, right? You have to open your mouth and you have to say, this is how you make me feel. When it comes to you talking about my weight gain, I am aware that I'm gaining weight, right? Make sure that you acknowledge that, you know, right? And say, these are the steps that I'm taking. Because again, when you're dealing with men, they're very, very, very action plan oriented. What is the end result? And so you have to say, you know, I was on steroids, but I'm modifying my diet. I'm gonna start exercising more. I'm gonna start drinking more, and I'm just using myself, right? And Gil was not giving me any negativity. I'm just saying those were the things that I knew that I needed to do to try to get myself back in line. And so the other thing you could do when you're dealing with negativity in your marriage is just be grateful for what is going right in the marriage or what is going right in your life. Sometimes we focus so much on the negativity, we forget that there's positive things going on in our lives and in our marriages, right? And if you could just focus on that one thing, that can get you through a very, very rough day with your spouse. The second thing is remind yourself that this too shall pass, right? When I was in the midst of, you know, the steroid use or whatever, you know, people who know about steroids, they make you crazy already. But, and then, you know, add my personality, I was time 10, right? And so when I was in the midst of that, right, I had to realize that, Gail, this too shall pass, right? It's not going to be like this always. You're not going to be on steroids always. You're not going to be in chronic pain always. You're not going to be not able to fit in the kind of clothes that you want to wear always. So I had to keep reminding myself that this too shall pass. So whatever the situation, if it's a financial situation, if whatever that situation is, just know that it's not going to stay like this forever. So just remind yourself of that as well. And I had, you know, to really start putting sticky notes up saying, Gail, this too shall pass. You will, you know, regain, you know, all the movement that you want in your hip, and you will not be in pain. All those things I had to start reminding myself, because sometimes you can get stuck in that negativity, right? And again, I was not dealing with a spouse that was negative. So for the lady that is dealing with her weight, you know, start posting positive things, that I'm eating healthy, that I'm beginning to move, right? And that I make wise choices, and that I'm going to regain the body that I once had. That's if you really want to regain that body, right? You know, you might be comfortable where you are. And if your spouse is giving you grief for the weight gain, again, you need to have a conversation and say, listen, I am healthy, I feel healthy, and I just need for you to accept me how I am. Not saying that you don't want to look your best, not saying that you know, whatever, and try to find a happy medium. The person that's dealing with the financial situations, just know that if you stepped out to build a business without a game plan, it's going to be very, very difficult. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but it's going to be very, very difficult. And I really would like for you to go back and really come up with a really good game plan and present it to your husband, right? And try to make sure that you put things in there where that you can meet, so he can see the progress and the milestones. Number 3, really learn to journal your process. And journaling is an amazing tool, and we don't use that enough. And you don't have to be something fancy. You can just write the date. I have just a legal pad, right? I've bought all kind of journals, and I just never seem to have them when I need them. So I just use a legal pad, and I just put the date at the top, and I put, was I feeling happy, sad, or whatever, and I just write really what I'm feeling. And I just find that when I journal and I get through something, and when I go back and I read it, it's like, wow, you was in this dark place, but look at you now. Or look, you wanted to achieve that goal, but you was able to check that goal off. And so really, I know journaling is amazing. And it's, like I say, it's one of the most underrated tools, Lisa, that you can really, really use. So I always say, make sure that you journal. And even if it's just something really small, had a bad day or achieved this or whatever, you'll be able to go back. And I have like hundreds now of tablets and journals, right? And I look and see where I started my journey, especially when it came to my business and my ministry, and how I've been able to grow, and how I used to say, oh, I want this, or I want to be able to touch women all over the world. And it's happening, right? But if I did not journal that situation, I would never know that I've reached those milestones. Even when I was in a dark place and I was like, I don't know if I want to continue this. I don't know, who's even listening. Is my message being effective? Any of those things, right? I'm able to go back and say, yes, I kept at it. I stayed the course. And so journaling was a good thing for me. Number 4, come up with a game plan. And I've talked about this, to be the solution, whatever it is. And it might not be finance. It might not be your weight. It might be whatever it is, but become the solution to the problem, right? A lot of times we were like, well, he's the problem and he needs to come up with the solution. No, be the solution to the problem. And sometimes that's very hard, but be the solution to the problem, right? And in my household, we was facing this for a while. I'm an amazing cook, and I'm not bragging, but I really am. But I don't like to cook, right? Because I don't like the meal planning part of the cooking, right? I don't never know what to cook, right? And so trying to get the people in my household to tell me what they want to eat so I can cook is just frustrating. And so I was like, oh my God, like I really need to cook for my family. It's not one of my favorite things to do, but they don't know what they want to eat, but I know that they're going to be hungry around 6:30, right? And so with me working from home, I'm like, I need to become the solution, because they're frustrated because I'm like, what do you guys want to eat? And then it, makes it a chore for me to cook. And I'm frustrated because I don't know what to cook, right? Hey, Nicole, sweetie Petey, how are you? Thank you so much for joining. So it used to become this big war in my household. And I said, you know what, Gail, you need to become the solution. You need to become the solution and do the meal planning in your household. So that way it won't be a fuss. So on Sundays, I go on YouTube, I go on the Food Network, I ask different girlfriends, what are you guys cooking for the week, right? And then I come up with the menu, right? And then I'll go grocery shopping and get all my stuff. And then they'll say, what's for dinner on Monday? I'm able to answer, and they don't have no room to wiggle things around. The only thing I will do for them is if we're having tacos on Monday, they want it on Tuesday, we can do that. But the menu is set for the week, right? Because so I became the solution. So nobody has to ask me what is going, what we're going to eat, and I don't have to ask them, so we don't have to go back and forth. And that's just a simple thing that I had to do for my household, because it was so irritating trying to cook for people, 5 different people with 5 different opinions, right? And it just became too much. So I always say, come up with a game plan and become the solution, whatever it is. If it's finances, come up with a budget that you guys both can work with. Sit down. There's many apps that help you with budgets. If the situation is your weight, and you're not, it takes months and years to gain weight, and it takes months and years to lose weight and keep it off, right? You can do something very drastic and crazy and get your husband grinning and skinning with you. But I will tell you, if you don't do it the correct way, you will gain that back plus more. Perfect. Lisa joined the thing. Hey, beautiful. How are you? And so it's an imperative that if for the lady who sent me about her weight gain, that you get on something that you can maintain, something that you lose weight at a steady pace, but not go crazy trying to lose 50 pounds in 10 days. That's ridiculous, because you're not going to be able to maintain that. And so again, I'm just trying to asking you to become the solution. So do something that is going to maintain your health, as well as getting you moving and getting to a healthy weight. Number 5, don't take everything really, really personal. And that's something that's hard to do, especially when you're dealing with your spouse and he's being so negative. We tend to take every single thing so personal, and you don't have to take everything personal, right? Because again, you don't know all the time what your spouse is dealing with themselves. So they will say some negative things, and you have said negative things out your mouth, and you really don't mean them the way they come out, or you're trying to hit below the belt or whatever. So I always say, don't take everything so personal. And if you do take it personal, wait a while and then go back and have that conversation and say, what you said to me really hurt my feelings. Did you mean it that way? And if they say yes, say, why would you say something to me like that is so negative when you knew that would hurt my feelings, right? And so again, don't take everything so personal, because again, you're dealing with human beings that have outside influences, and sometimes it's not always meant to come or hurt you the way you're perceiving it. And so, hi Nikki, how are you? And so again, just make sure that you don't take everything personal. Number 6, and this will be my last point. And usually, everybody like, Gail, why don't you put the prayer? I've been called to the carpet about praying. Why don't I put that first in everything? Well, I will tell you this. I deal with so many wives, and everybody tells them to pray, right? And prayer does work. Don't get me on me. Prayer does work. But sometimes you need some tools and strategies after you have prayed, right? Because you can't just sit by and just wait for everything, right? God is working, but sometimes you need some tangible tools and stuff that you can do right away. And so that's the reason why I put prayer last. So don't email me, don't tell me, Gail, you use prayer as the last resort. People who know me know that's a lie from the pit of hell. So but pray about it, right? And release it to God, because he has control over everything anyway. So let me just go over the tips that I said about being, dealing with negativity in your marriage and your relationship. The first thing is remain grateful for everything that is going well. Number 2 is remember, this too shall pass. It's not going to stay the same. So just remember, whatever the situation is, and like I said, I had 2 women to email me about this. Remember, this too shall pass. Number 3 is journal your way through the tunnel, because there is light at the end of the tunnel, right? So journal your way, because you won't know if you have reached the goal or came out unless you can really go back and read the situation that you was in. Number 4, come up with a game plan and become the solution, right? We can talk about all the negativity, but truly become the solution. Number 5, don't take everything so personal. And again, sometimes that's very, very difficult, right? Not to take things so personal, but don't take it so personal. And number 6, pray about everything, right? And release that thing. And so my prayer is that for the women who are listening to this, and thank you guys so much for joining me on Wife Chat Tuesday, that this is going to be very, very helpful to you guys. And again, if you have a topic that you want me to cover, by all means, inbox me, put it here. I always go back and read all the comments and after I get off of here. And if you have any questions for me, by all means, you can post them now. Because again, I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the content and answering the questions that you guys want. Like I said, I had a woman, well, not just a woman, a couple of women wanted me to talk about fellatio on here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to tackle it, and I'm going to tackle it next week, next Tuesday, because I believe this one was more pressing because I had a couple of women that wanted to talk about negativity in their marriage. And I have to craft my message really well for the fellatio part because so many women are struggling with that situation when it comes to that. And I just want to make sure that I tackle that and really give you guys some tools and strategies if you're struggling in that area. And so great info. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for posting the different things in the chat for me. And if there's no other questions, again, if you have any things that you want me to cover on Wife Chat, by all means, you can hit me up on my social media, Gail Crowder. You can send me a message here. You can send me an email at gail@gailcrowderinc.com. Again, I love you guys to pieces. Have an amazing, amazing Tuesday. And just know I'm always here for you. Good night.